What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be reviewing Seeking Alpha Premium. It is the start of the year 2022, and I know a bunch of you want to get into investing and buy individual stocks, but you really don't know where to start or you don't know what programs to use. One of my favorite programs is Seeking Alpha, and the premium version is a great way to get started. And even if you're not new, if you're someone that's experienced and you haven't tried out Seeking Alpha Premium yet, I would highly recommend it just because of all the different features and perks that it comes with. And what's really cool is I'm now partnered with Seeking Alpha, and you could click on a link in the description and get 50% off on the premium version. So make sure to check that out and grab your discount. But if you don't know if it's worth it yet, let's jump over to Seeking Alpha Premium and I'm going to do a quick little review of it. I know I made a review of Seeking Alpha Premium and the free version in the past, but now that there's this 50% discount, I think it would be cool to let all of my new subscribers, and if you're watching it right now, to know about this great discount and why you may want to end up adding this tool to your investing belt. So if you're someone that's just buying an index fund or an ETF like the SPY or the Qs or maybe a Vanguard index fund, Seeking Alpha is a good tool, but it may not be necessary. But if you are someone that's trying to buy individual stocks, so we'll go to one of my favorite stocks, in NVIDIA, then it is paramount that you have a really good tool to rely on to not only look at the financials, but the ratings, the earnings, if it gives a dividend. And Seeking Alpha is just an all-in-one program for you to see everything and help you pick winners. Now, remember, none of this is financial advice. It is all for entertainment and educational purposes only. Make sure to do your own research. Consult your financial advisor before trading because it comes with inherent risk. This is, well, if we go back to the main screen, here's the main screen of Seeking Alpha Premium. And then if you type in a ticker symbol, so I'm going to type in NVIDIA. Right here is pretty basic. This is what you're going to get with the free version as well, where you see a chart, some basic information. But right away, you could see we have some rating summaries with the Seeking Alpha authors. Think about NVIDIA, what Wall Street does, and then what Quant does. So we got a couple of holds and a buy. We got our factor grades, so our valuation, growth, profitability, momentum, and revisions. So you can see what it is now, what it was 3 months ago, and 6 months ago. But any stock is just going to give you a quick overview of pretty much all of these other tabs that you can really get in depth with. So if we scroll down, you can see all of these articles, and you can see right away if they are bullish or bearish. So this guy is saying that it is still overvalued. All of these guys are saying that it's a buy. One saying a hold, one saying a strong buy. So it's cool how you can kind of see, hey, I want to see maybe a bearish article on NVIDIA. What is their opinion on the stock? Why it's still set at a sell? We scroll down, we can see our quant ratings. Cool is it can compare it to the industry sector and overall. And then our dividend grades, if it does give a dividend. Scrolling down, we got our Seeking Alpha versus Wall Street. I think this is very cool how you could see, hey, we have 8 sells, we have 2 strong buys, 6 buys, and then 8 holds. And then what is Wall Street saying? You can see it's very different compared to the Seeking Alpha authors. Here's what the bulls are saying, what the bears are saying. We got a company profile, and then Seeking Alpha does a great job with all of their charts. Here's an NVIDIA's annual revenue, earnings per share chart. Keep scrolling down. We got our earnings estimates. I'm going quick because we're going to go over to the tabs in more depth. Our earnings revisions, growth, valuation, profitability, momentum. You can just see everything's laid out real nicely for you to get a quick overview of the stock and how it's performing. And then this is probably one of my favorite tabs, the peers. So you can see maybe you want to invest in NVIDIA, maybe you want to invest in maybe one of their competitors. And this will give you a quick overview of here's an NVIDIA's competitors or peers, and here's how they're doing compared to NVIDIA. Keep scrolling down. We got some risk technicals, presentations, transcripts. There's just so much information here. But let's scroll back to the top. And the first thing we're going to do is go to ratings. So this is completely a premium version. You can't get this on the free version. This is going to give you all of the ratings for NVIDIA. And I mean, this is pretty much what we already saw right here. But if we scroll down, you could see what NVIDIA's ratings is every single day. We could keep scrolling down and continue to see what their ratings are. It's pretty consistent. It is obviously not a valuation stock. It is a great growth stock. Their profitability is through the roof, and they've had some amazing momentum for the past at least 5 years. I mean, this is great momentum. We are having a little bit of a pullback as I'm recording this. It's a very strong growth stock, and I think it'll continue to go up. And I think long term, at least in my opinion, it's still a good trade. I do hold on to NVIDIA in my portfolio, but that's your ratings. We could see maybe a more conservative stock like JP Morgan, and you could see the ratings are much different. So valuation is a C, but then its growth, profitability, momentum are all F's and D's. And you could see how it's changed throughout the past couple of months. But let's go back to NVIDIA, and I'm going to look at the financials. So Seeking Alpha does a great job of displaying the financials. You got, with the premium version, the past 10 years, and then a nice little chart so you can really see how it's been performing year over year. So revenue has been on the up and up. We could scroll down. Everyone likes to see the EPS of a stock. So there you go. Its EPS has also been going up. And then of course, its earnings before tax, depreciation, and amortization is another great fundamental to look at. And then of course, we have the balance sheet and the cash flow statement to look at. So this is going to be all your basic stuff that you see in the balance sheet and cash flow, but you got 10 years worth to analyze. And we can look at quarterly, annually, and TTM by quarter. So you got a couple of options here. Really, it gives you a lot of information, especially if you're someone that wants to hold onto an individual stock for long term. We could jump over to the overview, and this will give you a whole bunch of different ratios to look at. Some of my favorite is looking at the debt to equity. I want it below 100%. Warren Buffett actually looks for companies below 50%. So this is sitting right at 49.7. Let's jump over to the earnings tab now, so we could really get into the earnings. So we could see what their latest earnings is, what their upcoming earnings is predicted to be, what its grade is. So a B, pretty modest grade if you ask me. We scroll down, it shows you a nice chart of the EPS and how it's been comparing to the consensus. So we got the consensus and the actuals, and the past 4 quarters, it is slightly beat the consensus, which is nice. Scrolling down, we got our annual EPS estimate, annual revenue estimate. So you can check all of that out. You can see all of these previous quarters. And if you click on it, you could actually click on this and get the transcripts, which I think is very useful. And then there are a couple of other tabs that we could look at. So we can go to estimate earnings, and you can kind of see a chart of how that's been going. And then we could look at the revisions with a nice chart as well, so you could really track trends here. But we're going to jump over to dividends. NVIDIA does give a very small dividend, so it's extremely safe, and the dividend growth is an A+, but it is very small. They have a very tiny dividend of 0.07. 16 cents is the payout, and their payout ratio is only 4%, but their dividend growth is 5.7, and they could continue that probably for a very long time. But let's look at a company that has some better dividends, maybe something like Target. So it's dividend safety. You can see this has completely changed. Dividend safety and dividend growth is a D, but then their dividend consistency is an A+. That is because Target is a dividend king, and if we go over to the growth tab, we can see how it's doing compared to its sector. We scroll down, we look at the past 10 years. Target has continued to increase their dividends, and they've actually done that for the past 50 years. Here we go. If we go to the dividend history of Target, we can go to max, and we're looking at, this is quarterly, every single quarter since 2000, and you can see that nice steady increase. If you're looking for a dividend stock, I mean, this is a great tool to look at to see how have they been paying out their dividends every single quarter. Have they missed a quarter? Has it gone down a certain quarter, and how come? But now we'll jump over to valuation. The whole stock market is a little overvalued while I'm recording this, so a lot of stocks are going to have a bad valuation. We can see Target is a D. If we go back to NVIDIA, I'm sure this is also going to be overvalued. Yeah, an F. A stock that isn't overvalued right now, maybe Best Buy. Yeah, Best Buy is a B. And you know what? Visa is probably, Visa's an F. So if we take a look at a stock that is a good value buy right now, they're saying Best Buy. Again, you can look at how it is stacking up compared to its sector and why it's giving that rating of a B. Let's jump over to growth. Best Buy is definitely not a growth stock. Let's take a look at NVIDIA again. And you can see A-, I mean, it is an absolutely amazing growth stock. And you could see why, compared to its sector, it is killing it in pretty much every single field. except for the dividend growth, of course. That is nowhere near. But we got a couple more tabs. So we got profitability is going to be pretty much the same thing. We got A plus is a very profitable company. You can see compared to its peers, the momentum. And then, of course, my favorite one is the peers tab. So maybe you're looking for a stock to invest in. You want to invest in a semiconductor. So you're thinking, hey, I know NVIDIA has had a great run up, but is it the best choice? What are its peers doing? And maybe I should go for one of them instead of NVIDIA. Well, this tab will break down everything for you. So I could see here's an NVIDIA's ratings compared to TSM, AVGO. This is Intel, Qualcomm, Texas Instrument. We got all of these peers that we could look at to see, is NVIDIA necessarily the best buy right now? Maybe Intel is looking a little bit better. Intel does have better valuation than NVIDIA, but we could see that their growth is flip-flopped. Their growth and valuation are flip-flopped essentially. Profitability looks like NVIDIA is beating Intel, and then its EPS looks like NVIDIA is definitely beating Intel there. And if we scroll down, we got not only what they're all currently trading at, what their total return was over the past month, 3 months, all the way down to 10 years. So we could see NVIDIA has been the king for the past 10 years, but we all know that past performance does not predict future returns. We could see which one is giving the best dividend, which it looks to be like Intel. Although this is what's cool. We want to go for maybe a dividend semiconductor. Intel may be the highest right now, but over the 4-year average, AVGO, which is Broadcom, that might be your best bet, going for that one. And then here we go, dividend grades. We could clearly see it looks like either Broadcom or Texas Instrument is going to be your best bet. NVIDIA, not so much. TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductor, also not your best bet. So you're going to want to stick to maybe one of these 4. And then we scroll down, and then here's all of the ratios that you want to look at, and you can compare to each other side by side. We got growth, profitability, ownership, performance, risk, EPS, income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow. So out of everything, I'd say peers is probably my favorite, because if you were looking for a certain stock to invest in, you want to know how are they doing compared to the competition, because their competition is what's going to make it or break it for them as a company. You do have oligopolies and duopolies, but at the end of the day, if NVIDIA is taking away from Intel's customers or vice versa, that is definitely something you want to look at. How are they doing compared to their peers? So this has got to be my favorite tab with Seeking Alpha Premium, and it has really helped me over the years pick winning stocks. Well, guys, that's a quick little overview of Seeking Alpha Premium. Again, the link is in the description. 50% off, which I think is a killer deal. So grab that discount while it's still there. And guys, as always, I will see you in the next one.